Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the story about Goku. What if Goku was in DxD universe? Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please do support for more awesome content and also hit the subscribe button. So let's start the video. It's been years since that battle with the hardest opponent yet, and his name was Majin Buu. No, it was not the fat Buu but the smallest and powerful Majin Buu. It all started at the World Martial Arts Tournament. The Supreme Kai and Kabisho and asked for the Z fighter help against a wizard Babidi from releasing Majin Buu. When arriving at the wizard's hideout, Babidi had taken control of Vegeta, although he had let him take control of him. When leaving the hideout, Goku had to fight Majin Vegeta. Goku had held back much of his power to knock some sense into Vegeta. He finally did, but was knocked out before he could help his Saiyan friend. When sensing that his friend passed away, he can feel grief from losing a close friend as best as he can be. Goten and Trunks have taken the chance to fight the Majin when using the fusion technique. Before leaving to find Gohan, he taught them how to achieve the third level. Goku had finally found Gohan, and it turns out he was alive the whole time. He found his son when using the instant transmission. He will use technique in this fanfic, and personally I think it's faster than the second and fourth Hokage from the anime Naruto to see that his son was undergoing the Kai training. He helped his son with the legendary Z sword. Both of them tested the Z sword's strength, but they broke the mighty sword. After finally getting over the incident, something happened. The eldest Kai has appeared and also helped with the training. Soon after training with the case Gohan, he mastered his potential greater than his level 2 transformation. Kabito Kai had transported Gohan to test his power against a fierce Majin Buu. Gohan appeared to have the upper hand in the fight. Majin Buu was smarter than he let on. He mocked the youngest Saiyans into fusion, then absorbing him. Majin Buu and Gohan were evenly matched in power, but Majin Buu was a little faster than his opponent. After having enough with this one-sided battle, he went to the battlefield with the eldest Kai giving him a life. Goku had the Kai's earrings to use the fusion with Gohan, but Majin Buu absorbed Gohan before he could get to use it. Vegeta had been given a life for this kind of circumstances, so he can use the earrings with him. Vegeta was pissed off when learning that Goku was holding back in their fight. After finally agreeing to the earrings, they fused in the warrior Vegito. Vegito had been absorbed into the monster Majin Buu. When looking around in the body, they found that Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo were not dead, but in something that they called people pods due to Goku's innocent mind for a man-child at times. When looking for a way out, they found the original Majin Buu in a people pod. When reading his mind, they found out that originally there were two Majin Buus, a good one and a bad one. Vegeta and Goku had escaped the body of Majin Buu when taking away the people's pods, the source of his power. The giant Majin Buu then turned into the original Buu, the one that had given even the Supreme Kai flashbacks of when he wasn't the original Supreme Kai, stating that Majin Buu was a cold-hearted monster with no remorse. Goku and Vegeta then transported them there, and they knew that if they gathered enough energy, Majin Buu would come to them. And so he did when Majin Buu came to the Kai planet. Vegeta and Goku wondered who would fight Majin Buu first. They had used rock, paper, scissors to decide, and Goku had won the little contest. Goku had used the second level to fight the monster. That wasn't enough, so he used the next level to fight him. The fight took a lot of Goku's strength. Vegeta then traded fights so that Goku can get his strength back. Vegeta couldn't use the second level due to being revived before he could get his full power. Majin Buu had decided to have fun with this weakling, seeing that this man is not even near his own strength. What he didn't notice was that Goku was gathering energy around the universe to use the spirit bomb. After gathering Thekanita, he launched the spirit bomb. Goku had won, but Majin had gathered enough power to send him to another world while the blast had destroyed his universe. Remember this DBZ to GT, meaning no god power and bills. Goku had woken up in another world similar to his own world. He found out that he was in a city similar to West City. He found a mirror so that he can see that he has changed to his younger age from defeated Piccolo at the World Martial Arts Tournament. He also found out that he has his tail back and his grandfather's magic power pole had followed him to the new world. He also found that he had needed to find a tailor to fix his guy. He had found a tailor, and he was an old man who, like this young man, really respected him and gave the fix for free. As Goku wandered about in the town, he had to find a job in the city. He found out they were hiring male hosts in their club. The manager was a beautiful woman that had blonde hair, and the most noticeable feature was her buxom figure, and he thought she was a polite girl that would be described as an airhead. She told him that he can come to work tomorrow for his shift. As he was looking for a place to stay, he found an apartment to rent for free. The reason he got it for free is so that the landlady can actually talk to someone. After looking around in his apartment, he found out that he has a small room with a TV, a bed, and restroom. Before turning in for the night, he had to check his current power level. He went into the alley behind the apartment building and saw that there wasn't anyone around. He flew into the sky, then clutched his hands and gathered his power. The clouds gathered around the sky and the lighting came around him. With a mighty roar, he released his power. The power was then felt everywhere that can sense the huge amount of power. Kuo Academy. There in this academy was filled with heiresses of the devils. One of which has beautiful red hair, blue-green eyes, and has a fabulous figure. She is wearing her school uniform, which is white long-sleeved, button-down shirt with a black ribbon on her shirt collar. And a black shoulder cape, and a matching corset, a magenta skirt, white crew-length socks, and brown dress shoes to finish it off her outfit. There is another woman next to her with the same uniform that the other girl has, but she has violet eyes, black hair and a ponytail with an orange ribbon to hold it. The two girls nodded with a silent conversation, knowing what they had to do. Fallen angel location. One man had felt a new wave of energy. The energy had the potential to surpass the two heavenly dragons. This man is in his 20s and has black hair, golden bangs, and a black goatee. He has a smirk on his face, wondering whoever, because this has his own interest in this new type of power. Heaven. Two powerful angels have both felt this power. These are considered the seraph angels that watch over the Christian faith of God. The power they both felt had reminded them of their original Lord. For this, the mystery person has sparked their interest. Back to Goku. Goku had transformed to the first level of the legendary Super Saiyan. This power came for him when his best friend Krillin had died. His body had changed when powering up. He now has blonde hair and teal blue eyes that made him look serious at the situation when needed. He powered down and assessed his power level. "Aw man, I can only go level, and that's it," said Goku sadly. He returned to his apartment and grabbed his power pole. He was glad he had something from his original world. And with that, he went to sleep and hoped to find a good education for him. Goku had finally woken up and was ready to look for an education. Goku got ready and looked all over the city for a good education. When interviewing people, they looked at his clothes and thought it was unusual to see a G. Goku had asked them for a good school for him. They said to check out an academy called Kuo Academy. With that in mind, he then tried to find a job that has good pay. As it turns out, there was a cafe a couple blocks away from his new academy. When getting there, the women are well over heels for the man. From what they saw, the young man appeared to be 17. He was tall and had spiky black hair, black eyes, and had on an orange, red, and blue guy on him. They could tell that he works out a lot because his muscles can be seen from the guy. The women had blushes on their faces when they saw him. They hoped that he would apply here. He would make a handsome host here. Goku had tried to find the manager for this cafe. It turns out the manager was a woman. She was really beautiful and had a buxom figure with her large breasts. She had blonde hair and the cutest blue eyes. Goku had applied for the job here and was accepted. The manager said to come around in the late afternoon. Before he left, she was given his uniform for his job. The uniform was a normal butler outfit. Although Goku then changed the white undershirt for his regular blue undershirt for his new uniform. Goku then went to the Chaos Academy office for registration. He then remembered that some of the people he asked said that it was an all-girl academy. The academy was then turned into a co-ed academy recently. When getting there, he asked the secretary for the papers. She then gave the papers to him. He filled all the work, and for his guardian he put his grandfather's and his son's name, Gohan. The secretary went over the paperwork and signed off, seeing the information was correct. She had given him the male's uniform for this academy. The uniform was really uncomfortable for his taste. This made him remind him of the time of Gohan's interview before he left to find the legendary Super Saiyan, Broly. Though in time he will get used to like his guy. She told him that he would be a second year, then told him where to go. Goku walked through the campus to find his homeroom. When walking around, he heard the students say weird stuff. The guys were "Damn, not another Prince Charming," or "Here comes another pretty boy like the other guy." The girls were "Ah, another Prince Charming. I'm happy to be here," or "Kaya, I hope he notices me and makes me his girlfriend." From hearing them, he automatically thought that these students were weird. He then looked up in the window to see two young women staring at him with high interest. One of them had long red hair, blue-green eyes, and a fabulous figure with large breasts. The other girl had long black hair and a ponytail while having an orange ribbon, deep purple eyes. She had a nice figure when her breasts were larger than the red head. He just continued on with giving them his usual sun grin. The grin caused all the females that saw them to have blushes on their faces. They thought the grin had made him more handsome than ever. The guys were giving death glares to the young Saiyan for the attention of the great one Isamas here at the academy. "Do you know who Akeno was?" asked the redhead curiously. "From what I can understand, his name is Son Goku Buchu," said the now named Akeno. "Son Goku, you are surely interesting," said Rias. Ara is Buchu getting a crush on the new student?" teased Akeno. "Maybe, but I couldn't help but see you eyeing the new student yourself," Akeno, accusing the redhead. I was caught red-handed, Rias," said Akeno. Rias cited her friend's teasing of her. She couldn't help but feel that he will be needed for later in her life. Both Rias and Akeno went for their own homerooms because they knew school was now starting. Goku finally found his homeroom and knocked. The door opened and came out was a middle-aged man that he presumed was the teacher of the class. "Ah, so you are the new student that just came in," he said. Goku nodded in confirmation. "Alright then, so go introduce yourself for the class," he said, pointing to the rest of the class. "Hi there, my name is Son Goku. I just transferred. Please take care of me," he said while flashing his famous Son grin. The girls were cheering due to the fact that there was another prince just like Kiba. The guys were groaning at the fact that the new guy was getting all the attention. After quieting the class down, the teacher told him where to sit next to a boy named Issei Hyodo. Issei Hyodo was known as one of the perverts of the academy. His other friends were named Mitsuda and Motohama. When the three are together, they are called the infamous perverted trio. Mitsuda was nicknamed Perverted Baldy due to his appearance. Motohama was also nicknamed Perverted Glasses for when a girl knows her three sizes. Throughout campus, they were despised by all the girl students. They would peep on some of the girls' clubs and would get a beating. Usually they were caught by the kendo club and they would get first-hand experience in their skills. When Issei raised his hand, Goku had seen his new classmate's appearance. Issei had on the male academy's uniform but had a darker red blazer. He had short brown hair and brown eyes that were similar to his hair. Issei couldn't help but envy the new guy that he was sort of a bodybuilder. Goku then sat to the right of him. The girls whispered if one of the perverts then turned the new guy into one of them. After class was over, Goku then tried to find the academy's cafeteria. Goku had found it and got his light snack, as he called it. The food he gathered was considered food for 5 people. The people watched in interest seeing the new guy get his food. Before sitting down, he felt stares similar to the ones he got earlier in the morning. He turned to see young women staring at him. One of them has long black hair to her knees. She was wearing the academy's uniform just like the girl next to her. She has light brown eyes and has blue semicircle glasses. The other girl has black hair and a bob cut. Her eyes were light violet eyes with black glasses that were different compared to the other girls. He gave them a grin before eating his light snack. The people around him were wide-eyed and jaw-dropped when seeing him eating. They all wondered where he kept all the food. Not to mention if he's even human at all. After leaving the cafeteria, everyone went back to what they were doing. But unknown to Goku, he had caught the attention of other girls here at the academy. The pair then left to talk with one of their friends here to discuss the new student on campus. As soon as Goku left his final campus, he was approached by one of the cutest girls on campus. She was petite with short white hair and had hazel eyes. She then told him that her Buchu had requested that he would come with her to meet her. He kindly denied the request, saying he can come over tomorrow. She accepted his response and then left. Goku finally went back to his apartment. He then got on his uniform. He dressed like another butler would, but he changed the white undershirt for his own. Goku decided to use instant transmission to get there faster and appeared right beside his boss. She gave a yelp of surprise when seeing him. "Ah, Goku-kun, I didn't even hear you come in," she said. He had thought something faster. "Right, sorry about that, I get that a lot," he lied. "Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself properly. My name is Lizlet," she said. When she was in uniform, she blushed at his appearance. Goku then saw that he was the only butler here. The only guys here were the customers. They were with their dates or just by themselves. The women were blushing seeing him in his uniform. As the day continued on, he was requested by the lone females to talk with him. The women either tried seductively to get him to come after work or try to feel his muscles. On some occasions it was both. The manager was glaring at the customers that were trying to take away her favorite human. Lizlet wasn't all she appears to be, for she is to be considered a Tsukumagami. She couldn't help but feel affectionate for her new employee. Lizlet thought it was his personality that made her fall for him. As the day continued, Lizlet learned a little bit about himself. That he was raised in the forest by his grandfather. That he doesn't know who his father is. She couldn't help but feel ashamed that she asked that question. He assured her that it was all right for her. She just fell over heels for him. As Goku said goodbye, Lizlet knew somewhere in her heart that she loved him for who he was. And that she hoped that in time she would tell her feelings for him soon. On the other hand, she knew she would be too affectionate for him. Goku left the only thing he thought was cool, instant transmission. He went to sleep knowing that he still remembered that request from earlier. Goku got ready for the academy. When he arrived at the academy, it was basically like the first day he came here. The girls will always be flirting with him, while the guys mutter the death of him. He had already died, so it didn't really bother him as much. When he was in his class, someone had entered. He was handsome in the girls' eyes. He had short blonde hair and gray eyes. His name was Kiba and was known as the Prince of Kuo due to him being so nice to the females on campus. He was known to be in the occult research club at the academy. The girls in the class couldn't decide to root for Goku-sama or Kiba-sama. "Hello, I'm looking for Goku-kun and Issei-kun. My Buchu has requested to see them," asked Kiba. Both of them stood up and followed him to his club's classroom. They both went inside the room to see two familiar girls that they both knew. "Ara, I'm pleased to see you two here," said the girl with the black hair. The other girl was eating candy without even looking at them. They can both hear water that was coming from a faucet in a smaller room here. What came out of the room was a beautiful young woman that they both were familiar with. "So you came then, right?" asked Rias. They both nodded in confirmation. "So are you two familiar with the supernatural?" asked Rias. Again they nodded. "Do you remember your girlfriend Issei?" asked Rias. He shuddered at the mere thought of her. He remembered the first time he was approached by her. She at the time was called Yuma, and she was his first girlfriend. After their first date, he was pierced by a light spear. He was nearly dead, but he summoned Rias that he remembered was a devil. In all purposes, he now knows that the supernatural is now as real as it can get. Well, Goku was another story in his case of lifestyle. When he first died, he was taught by King Kai of his race. He then fought all over the galaxy and fought many fighters that were considered supernatural. That girl that you met was a fallen angel, for those are angels that have fallen from grace. They were once a war that every angel, fallen angel, and devil had fought, and this was called the Great War. After the Great War there was a treaty that ended it for now. Although there were skirmishes throughout the many years of the factions. Then the Devil Civil War happened, and there were two factions. The anti-Satan faction and the old Satan faction, she said. The first faction I first mentioned was made of those who wanted to change the government. The other was to keep the current state of government. The original four great Satans, consisting of Lucifer, Leviathan, Beelzebub, and Asmodeus, had died. And the most powerful devils in the underworld took the positions of them to lead us after the Civil War. As such, the current Beelzebub found a way to fill back our population through evil pieces, she concluded. After that, Rias pulled out a chess piece, but it wasn't an ordinary chess piece. Goku then learned that inside that piece held a lot of magic. "This is how I revived you, Issei, through the evil pieces, and you cost all of my pawns for reincarnation," she said. Issei went white at the mere thought. "As such, you are considered to have sacred gear. Sacred gears are powerful tools that choose their own hosts to inhabit, and you are one of those," she said. "In fact, Kiba here has his own sacred gear, don't you, Kiba?" asked Rias in confirmation. Kiba nodded. "Yes, I do have my own sacred gear called Sword Birth, meaning I can create all kinds of swords. For example," Kiba pulled a knight-looking sword from the ground. Both of them were impressed by the display of his own sacred gear and wondered how he got his sacred gear. "With that being said, I would like to reintroduce ourselves, seeing how to show our trust," Rias said. "So you know my friend Akeno Himejima, for she is my queen," she said. Akeno gave a formal bow and gave her response. Ara, please treat me well, Issei Sengoku-kun," Akeno said. Rias then pointed to her knight Kiba for his turn. "Hello, my name is Kiba. I hope we get along with Issei-kun Goku-kun," he said. And finally Rias then pointed to her rook for her turn to speak. "Hi, my name is Koneko Taoju, please treat me well, Issei-senpai Goku-senpai," she said softly. "And together we are devils, and you can do this to Issei," she said. Everyone but Issei and Goku had devil-looking wings on their backs. Issei then felt a weird sensation on his back he never felt before. He turned around and saw that he had similar wings to the rest of the club. Goku was surprised when seeing the wings. As he fought many opponents, these wings were different. Rias then turned to Goku and asked an important question that would change his life forever. "Son Goku, would you like to join the devil faction?" Goku thought he didn't hear that correctly. Did she just say he, Son Goku, became a devil? Actually, he wondered what perks for fighting for the devils was in this dimension. He would really fight strong opponents. His body would be tested to his limits to expand his power. He was actually thinking like Vegito would in this situation. He knew what would happen, at least this what he thinks. He will be turned into a battle-hardened slave ready to his owner's will. So what you are asking, if you want me to be your slave then is that, asked Goku with a hint of venom in his voice. Rias went wide-eyed at his comment and then thought about it. The Gremory was known to be affectionate with their servants forever. Although Goku doesn't know that entirely being the fact that he is not a devil to know them. No, that isn't what I meant, Goku, it's not like that, Rias said but nearly yelled. Goku then did the skill he did with Trunks when he first met back in his own dimension and found out that she was telling the truth. She doesn't want to be a cruel master from what he can understand. Can I just think about your offer for a while, asked Goku. Rias nodded in understanding, for in this situation, how many humans would think of going to be a devil? Although she doesn't truly know of Goku's history and powers. Goku then nodded and left without his instant transmission technique. He needed to keep the appearance that he was human and nothing else. Or otherwise these devils would ask too many questions for his taste. After leaving the club, Rias wondered if she pushed her luck with this new student. When Goku left after his last class, he saw that it was time for him to go to his job. Goku then felt that someone was watching him. And he saw a glimpse of white hair and weird energy from what he felt. It was the girl back in the club when he met Rias and the rest of the so-called devils. When feeling the power out, it somewhat reminded him of an Eco, a cat for those who don't know. If he remembered from the Cow Academy's rumors, the girl's name was Koneko. Apparently the boys call her the Academy's mascot due to her cute appearance. He knew he had to lose her before he could get to his job. Goku didn't want them to know his best techniques. At least not yet, before he can think about the offer. He remembered that there was a longer way to his work with many corners. As he increased his speed, the young girl was having trouble catching up to him. As turned at the last corner, he vanished. When he vanished, he lowered his power to non-existence. The girl looked around and simply left and reported her findings. Goku sighed seeing that she left. Goku then left for his job at the cafe. Goku was already wearing his uniform for work and got started on his work. He did say hello to his boss though. As he was talking with some of the older women in the cafe, he couldn't help but see that cute glare of hers. As it turns out, it wasn't for him, it was for the woman talking with him. He thought that his boss would be different at times. Although he was weird himself. Being brought back from the dead and fighting space dictators. So in retrospect he was weird as her, but decided to not say anything. As the cafe was about to end, she wanted to say something when the customers left. As the last customer paid and left, both Lizlet and Goku were all alone. Goku couldn't help but like his boss. She was innocent at times when seeing her. He would sometimes feel possessive of her when some of the male customers would give her lustful. Goku-kun, there is something that I must confess to you, said Lizlet. What is, Lizlet-chan? Asked Goku. Lizlet gained more blush on her face. It's that I really like you and was hoping to go on a date with you sometime, asked Lizlet. Goku had a noticeable blush on his face when hearing that. Goku nodded and Lizlet gave a happy smile. Then Goku went wide-eyed of what happened next. Lizlet gave him a small kiss to the lips and pulled out of it before he could respond to it. Ah, Goku-kun, I almost forgot that I also need a favor from you, asked Lizlet. Goku nodded in understanding. Lizlet grabbed his hand and pulled him to the back of the cafe. And what he found was really interesting and cute. There were two cats that were injured from what he can tell. One of them was pure white and had a red collar with violet eyes. The other has black fur and golden eyes. The weirdest thing was that this one had a witch hat on. I see what the favor is, you want me to look after them, right? Asked Goku. Lizlet nodded in confirmation. Goku then stretched out his hand and both the cats gave sniffs to his hand. The cats meowed, seeing that this young man doesn't give them any harm. They both ran up to his shoulders, with the one with white on his left and the one with black on his right. Both of the cats were nuzzling their necks with affection. Goku left, but Lizlet hoped that Goku wouldn't freak out about what was going to happen with those cats. As Goku finally got to his apartment, the cats jumped off when Goku opened the door. As Goku went to get some leftovers for the cats went around getting used to the apartment. Goku came back and said that he had leftover fish and meat. The cats had stars in their eyes when seeing the food. The one with white fur went to eat the meat, while the one with black hair was now eating the fish. The both of them were blissed seeing that the food was reheated well done. Goku sighed seeing that he wasn't prepared for this situation. He was hoping to eat the leftovers for himself. Goku saw the time and saw that it was time to go to sleep. As Goku left his room, the two cats went to his room. The door wasn't closed all the way, so they managed to fit in. The two of them nodded and they both exploded with smoke. Both of them changed their appearance to human-like. One of them had a buxom-like figure. She had dark purple hair and curls that resembled a cat's tail, having the witch hat, as usual. And her golden eyes shone in the dark with the moon in the background. She was wearing a black dress that can be considered revealing for some people. The other noticeable feature about her was she doesn't have human ears, but purple cat ears. The other girl had a nice figure, as well compared to the other girl. She had long black hair and a ponytail with a couple bangs on her forehead to her hips. And has a hint of blue, as well. She still has her purple eyes, as well. While she is wearing a light blue yukata for sleepwear. Like the other young woman, she had cat ears, as well, but in white. The both of them wondered how he would react tomorrow. They both hoped that he wouldn't react badly. "Do you think he would like us, Blair-san?" asked the one with the light blue yukata. "Of course, who wouldn't want us, right, Himari-san?" said the now named Blair. Himari nodded, and they both got under the covers with Goku and went to sleep. As the sun began to rise, Goku had finally woken up. He felt more weight on his chest than usual. When he woke up, he was surprised to see two beautiful women on his chest. When he moved, the two came up from the covers and stretched a little bit. When they did, their breasts bounced a bit. Goku couldn't help but blush when see this. It must be that he is young again. Now he will go through what was called puberty. He remembered this from his old teacher, Master Roshi. He was one of his best teachers in his life for his training. He hoped that he was happy with whatever he's doing. "Could you two please tell me who you girls are?" asked Goku. "Right then, my name is Blair." "Nice to meet you, Goku-kun," said Blair. "And my name is Himari, Goku-sama," said Himari. Goku said that he couldn't remember who they were. "I'm sorry, can you remind me where I first met you girls, and second, how did you get in here?" asked Goku. "That's easy, Goku-kun. We met you yesterday at the cafe, and for the second one the door was open," replied Blair. Then it clicked, he remembered the only other people that came in were the cats. "Wait a minute, you two are those cats, aren't you?" asked Goku in confirmation. They both nodded in confirmation. "So I got to ask, why did you call me Goku-sama, Himari-chan?" asked Goku. She blushed when she heard that suffix in her name. "It's because I feel the need in my heart to serve you, my Goku-sama," replied Himari. "Okay, then another question I got to ask is what exactly you two are?" asked Goku. "I'm a cat with a lot of magic, although people mistake me for a witch due to my appearance," replied Blair sadly. Goku couldn't help but feel sorry for. So he made a promise after his date with Liz that he would make her feel better. He then turned to Himari's response. "When I first saw you at the cafe, you didn't notice me, but I did. Then I felt a glimpse of you, and from that glimpse I knew I was going to serve you. The reason is that it's a tradition in my family. And also my family back in Echo, meaning we are cat demons," said Himari. Goku was interested when he heard that. So now he knows that demons and devils are not one and the same. He knew he was going to have an interesting life here in this universe. Goku went to check the time and saw that it was near to go to school. "Okay girls, I'll be going to school, do you want to come along?" asked Goku. The both of them shared a look, and they both had something else to share. "Actually, we already have been registered to follow you," Blair confessed while Himari nodded. "Well, isn't that convenient, isn't?" said Goku. "Okay, I'll be waiting by the front door for you two, so why don't you two get dressed?" said Goku. They both nodded, and they both went to the restroom to change. Goku was now outside and looked at the situation he was in. Now he faces problems with the devils. Now he has a date after school, and now he has more girls after his heart. Now he knows what it is like to be actually noticed. As he turned around, he saw that they were wearing the girls' uniform of the academy. Although they edited the uniform. Instead of the usual white, they add different colors. Himari was a feminine red, while Blair was wearing a dark purple. Goku raised an eyebrow when seeing their uniform. "I thought you couldn't change the uniform," asked Goku. "They said we can, but it can only be the shirt," replied Himari. "Anyways, are you two ready, Himari-chan?" Blair-chan asked Goku with his usual sun smile. They both nodded with a blush, and they wrapped their arms around his own. Blair on his right and Himari on his left. Both of them revealed that they are falling for him. As Goku makes his way to his new school, he couldn't help remember the hardest challenges he's ever faced. Fighting his so-called brother, Raditz. The evil good Saiyan Vegeta. The space monster and tyrant Frieza. And the monster with most of his famous techniques, Cell. And lastly, the mythical monster known as Majin Buu. Each of them had pushed him to new heights for his fighting skills. There is one thing that he hasn't actually faced yet. And that is having girls to gain his affection. Usually Chi-Chi would take out the women from talking with him wherever he was at the mall. All his life he had his wife Chi-Chi, and he was happy with her. She was a loving wife for him. Although at times he did fear her and her utensils. She gave him 2 sons that he loved. They made him proud of their achievements. Gohan for becoming a Super Saiyan 2 against a monster Cell. That with his potential release he was at one time would have surpassed him in fighting. Goten for being a little him, as a young child. He even had a famous hairstyle too. He became a Super Saiyan 3 with the help of Trunks of course. But then he regretted many things when he was granted a body. They were both absorbed by that monster Majin Buu, Super Buu if you will. He had a plan to fuse Gohan with the Potara earrings to stop him. But that beast absorbed his son and gained way too much power that even a Super Saiyan 3 couldn't match up with. Then Vegeta came in and helped him to defeat the beast with their fusion as Vegito. They were absorbed, but they managed to escape. While he used a spirit bomb to destroy him. The next new challenges were affections. All he knew was that women should be treated with respect. That was what his grandfather had taught him. Not to mention his old master taught how to be observant with women at times. The girls were Lizlet, Blair, and Himari. They each had their own backstories. Lizlet owns a small maid cafe in the city. With him being the other worker here. But he did feel a mythical presence in the cafe. He made a mental note to ask her after the date. The next girl was Blair the magical cat. From what she told him earlier she was shunned for being mistaken for a witch wherever she met people. He was a sucker for sob stories from his gentle heart. His grandfather had told him that cheering up a girl was going on a date with them or something to cheer them up. So he was determined to take her on a date at some point. The last girl was Himari. She told him that she knew she was destined to serve him. The reason was she felt his power when he arrived in this dimension. He knew that Super Saiyans had a lot of energy. So he might, as well, be prepared for new women coming to him. Enough to destroy a planet might he add. She told him that her family was like that. They find the strongest power level they find and become their servants. Goku thought that was kind of pointless. He thought that girls should look for their ones by spending time with them. But he knew he couldn't judge them too much. Otherwise he would be kind of like Frieza. Except the killing of innocents of course. Goku snapped out of his thoughts when he felt the tugging on his right sleeve. He turned and saw that Blair was trying to get his attention. "Goku-kun, where's your classroom?" asked Blair.